Joining us now, former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Chad, okay, the White House today saying it will terminate Trump's Title 42, the pandemic border policy. Dr. Fauci is still saying there's a problem with the pandemic. We've got Democrat Senators Mark Kelly, we've got Senator Warner, Manchin, Senator Hassan, Congressman Cuellar, and Vicente Gonzalez from Texas saying don't do it. Keep the policy in place. So why get rid of it?
Well, that's a great question, and it's a dangerous decision at the end of the day for a couple of different reasons. One, we know today that Border Patrol facilities are overcrowded, and so if you lift Title 42, they're not going to be able to remove upwards to 50 or 60,000 additional individuals every single month. So you're going to, again, be crowding Border Patrol facilities, and it only takes 1 or 2 cases of COVID to spread in those facilities, endangering the migrants and law enforcement. The second reason really is because we know that this will incentivize further surges to that border. So while we already see 170, 180,000 illegal apprehensions in a given month, you're likely going to see more because they remove this authority. And I think third, and probably the most disappointing and dangerous, is they knew this day was coming. They knew Title 42 was going to end, and they have done nothing to prepare for it, and they have done nothing to put policies in place to address some of the underlying issues that are still plaguing the border after more than 14 months. So very disappointing all around.
That's what the Democrat senators are saying, too, that, all right, you're lifting the policy, but you have no plans to help the border communities, the border neighborhoods with dealing with the influx. I mean, they're Americans, too, so why abandon the border states and the communities down there who have to deal with this kind of, just on autopilot policies from the White House with no regard for them?
Well, I think that's what we've been asking for the last 14 months. And in some respects, Title 42 has really masked the true nature of the crisis along that border, because they have been able to remove 70 or 80,000 individuals a month pretty quickly back to Mexico under this authority. They're no longer going to be able to do that. And so the crisis that we have seen and have been talking about for, this administration is really going to be on steroids as they lift this order, because you're not going to be able to remove this many folks, and you're going to see more and more of them released in the country, released on city streets, being flown around the country. And so you're going to see a lot more of those visuals and those pictures going forward.
Yeah, let's show the pictures. We've got Fox News' Bill Melugin. He was reporting wild footage. Texas troopers, body cam, they've had a fiery human smuggler pursuit, a crash near Laredo, Texas. They were trying to save a woman's life. She was literally zipped up inside a duffel bag, being smuggled inside a burning car. We also have this, El Paso sector, the Border Patrol arrested a human smuggler heavily armed at the checkpoint in New Mexico as well. They were moving illegal immigrants in a U-Haul, these human smugglers, and they found AK-47s, 12-gauge shotgun, a lot of guns and weaponry. Human smugglers are getting armed up.
Well, this is the reality when you don't secure the border and you have an open door policy. As we've seen, you incentivize the cartels to smuggle more and more individuals and more contraband and others across that border. And so the number of instances that you described there are on the rise. They're not diminishing, unfortunately. And so it's very, very concerning when you empower the cartels.
The White House is confusing everyone on this. Watch what's going down in D.C. Watch this.
When the CDC ultimately decides it's appropriate to lift Title 42, there will be an influx of people to the border.
Title 42 will remain in place so long as the folks at the CDC and others, the scientists, give us the facts and the science to show that in order to protect public health, we can and will use Title 42 to protect Americans. And so what I can tell you is that we constantly do an analysis of where we are. We'll make a determination at some point as to whether or not Title 42 should remain in place.
This is going to cause massive injury to migrants, cartels empowered, Americans endangered, fentanyl pouring across our border, all because the secretary refuses to do his job. This is a unexcusable dereliction of duty by the Secretary of Homeland Security. It is an impeachable act to not carry out his constitutional duty to defend the border of the United States.
Impeachable act, your word on that.
Well, absolutely. You need to protect Americans. So if you're not going to do it with Title 42, then you need to do it with other policies. And they have simply refused to do that over the last 14 months.